Hello everybody, it's Connie Stewart. I'm so glad you guys could join me for tonight's YouTube premiere. I have got a really fun project lined up for you tonight. Guys, I can't wait to share with you and how to create this. Are you ready? Let me show you. This is what I'm calling my mini scratch paper box. Isn't this cute? This is going to be a great little piece, little box that'll sit on your desk with some nice scratch paper in it. The paper is about 2.5 by 3.5, great for just jotting down a quick phone number or quick reminder. You notice we use the Floral Romance suite tonight, all kinds of great goodies in that one with the stamp set and the framelits. And oh, what about that gold metallic thread? Isn't that pretty? It's going to be a really fun project. I'm excited to share it with you. But hey, before we get started, I want to make sure that you guys are logged into your YouTube account, because if you're on with me live right now, it is March 13th at 5 p.m. Central Time. If that's what time you're watching, I am live in that chat box. The chat box is only live while the premiere is going on, but I'd love to chat with you. It's a lot of fun. I love being able to hear your comments and answer questions and just kind of be right there live with you. But if you're watching the replay, if you're tuning in afterwards, not a problem. Please leave me comments. I'd love to hear from you and answer any questions that you might have. You're just going to be able to leave a comment just like you would on any other video. Now, while we're waiting for everyone to get logged in, if you haven't already done so, be sure to click the red subscribe button so that you get notifications whenever I have a new video. And there's also a little bell in the upper right-hand corner. If you ring that bell, YouTube will give you a notification whenever one of my YouTube premieres is about to go live or whenever I've posted a new video. It's kind of cool. So yeah, ring that bell. It's a lot of fun. All right. I know how much you guys love to create with tutorials. So I went ahead and created a tutorial for tonight too. So yes, everything you see in the video will teach you how to create the projects. I give you the measurements, I get you all taken care of, I promise. But I know that some of you are more of a visual learner, so I did create a tutorial tonight for this project. And guys, it's really great because, let me flip my papers around here. I have in this tutorial a complete list of supplies. I've got diagrams for cutting, diagrams for scoring, diagrams for cutting the scratch paper, and of course, great photos to help you in your creation. It's a really fun little tutorial. You can find this over at simplysimplestamping.com. Just look for the Let's Get Creative videos and tutorials. It's up in that blue menu bar, and it'll be the first one at the top of the page, and you can just order that there. Yeah, really great little tutorial. And so yeah, for those of you that need something a little more visual in front of you to create, I think you're gonna love having this tutorial in your file. Okay, so I think we are ready to go. I've got coffee over there because you know me, I can't do this without a good cup of coffee. And I say we get started. Are you ready? Yeah, let's go. Before we begin, I do want to talk about the designer series paper we're going to be using because it's a little bit different than what you might be used to from Stampin' Up. So we're going to be using the Floral Romance Specialty Designer Series paper. You're going to get 2 prints and you're going to get 3 sheets of each, okay? But let me show you the other side because, of course, our designer series paper is double-sided. Look at that beautiful wood look. I love that one. And then, of course, a nice little petal pink speckle. So you can see our bold images are on one side and the softer on the other. But let me show you what makes this specialty designer series paper. It comes with 2 sheets of printed vellum. I wanted to put it here on a white background so you could see. Do you see that beautiful lace in the petal pink? Gorgeous. Let me show you the other one. I must admit, I think that is my favorite. That is beautiful. Guys, you can use it in pieces or you can come and you can fussy cut. Guys, fussy cut vellum is gorgeous. But you get 3 sheets of each of these pieces of printed vellum as well in that collection. For my project today, I decided to use this nice leaf pattern. And guys, I'm very excited to tell you it uses half a sheet of designer series paper. So that is 6 inches by 12 inches. So yeah, you'll be able to make 2 of these little boxes out of just 1 sheet of designer series paper. Now, in the Floral Romance collection, you can also get a cardstock pack. These are 12 by 12 sheets. You get 8 of each color. Mossy Meadow, Petal Pink, and Fresh Fig. We're going to be using squares of these, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, so one of those in each of those colors. You can see I've polished off the edges and the corner of my box with some Fresh Fig mini ruffled ribbon. This is cut exactly 9 3/4 inches, and then I have a small bow as well. We're also going to be using some cardboard. This is actually the cardboard that comes in our designer series paper. This is going to give my box some extra strength. I do want to say if you don't have any of this, don't worry. You can choose any of the 3 colors that come in that cardstock pack. Any of these are going to work. So just choose your favorite color. Again, I'm just going with chipboard. I have 2 pieces here. These are cut, are you ready? A hair less than 2.5 by 3 3/4. A hair less because I don't want it to go right to the edge. So just when you're cutting, just scooch it down a little bit. I have another piece here, 4 1/4 by 1.5 inches, and then a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch square. We're also going to be using the gold metallic thread. Guys, I think this is a must for this project. It really makes it so delicate. I'm going to leave it on the spool because there's really not a right size. Stampin' Dimensionals and mini Stampin' Dimensionals. A 1 3/4 inch circle punch. My ink pad colors today are Fresh Fig and Petal Pink. And it's not a scratch paper box without some scratch paper. We need 20 sheets of regular copy paper. I'm going to cut through 3 sheets at a time here on my Stampin' Trimmer. And let me show you, the first cut we're going to make is at 3.5 inches. And look at that, we can cut through that perfectly. I have remaining 5 inches, and we're going to cut that in half at 2.5 inches. So we can cut down that. Now, these we're going to cut at 3.5 inches, so we can just swipe through these pretty quickly. And one more. You will have some scrap on this as well, guys. We'll repeat that with this other piece. And then our 3.5, you probably already figured it out. We're going to cut it down to 2.5 inches. So we can whip through this pretty fast. I want to take a break briefly and just kind of talk about what comes in this bundle, because it's really a fantastic one. And you guys know, I really like to share with you just what the framelits do, because many times just looking at them, you don't see how awesome they are. So this is going to be the Wonderful Romance bundle, the cling stamp set. You guys know how much I love the clings because they stick so well. We have some wonderful leafy floral images and then 3 sentiments. Really great. And of course, the stamps are going to go with the framelits. Let me show you what I've got here. So it comes with 15 dies. We love that. So these 3 here, you can see, you can use them as a standalone, these 2, but you notice I've stamped them and then I used the matching framelit to die cut it. That's great. Let me flip my little flower over because I also have 4 flowers. Now there's 1 stamp, but you notice 4 framelits. It makes it so easy to run it through your Big Shot when you have 4 of those. So you can cut out those little flowers awfully fast. And I really like the way those look. Now, I think these down here are probably my favorite. This border stamp, I mean, can we talk about how beautiful this is? And these leaves right here, you can just kind of lift them off of a card. Can you see how nice that would look on a card or maybe on a box? Absolutely gorgeous embellishment right there. We also have just a, 5-leaf little stem, very nice. And this I really liked. And that is 4 different size leaves. And I hope, I'm going to move this out of the way because I want to zoom in. Can you see the detail that the framelits actually emboss the cardstock? So that's not just a plain little flat leaf. It's got detail, it's got pizzazz, gotta love that. We also have just a nice little, just kind of a little floral that you can tuck in whenever you kind of want to add that delicate look. And of course, a great big label. We love it. So guys, I wanted you to just be able to see everything that comes in that 15-piece framelit set and how awesome this bundle really is. So I have my 6x12 designer series paper, and I'm going to cut that down to 5 3/4 inches. That's going to leave me a 6" by 6 1/4 inch. So with that 6 1/4 inch by 6 inches, I want to check. I'm making sure I've got my 6 inches up at the top. We're going to cut that down to 3 inches. So I now have 6 1/4 by 3 inches. I'll set one of those off to the side along with that 5 3/4 by 6 inch. With this one remaining, I'm going to cut it down to 1.5 inches by 4 1/4 inch. These pieces here are scraps, so you know we're going to save those and do something really pretty with them, maybe in an upcoming video, but we're done with that. Now let's do some scoring. So that cutting blade, boy, let's get that out of the way. We don't want to risk doing any cutting. This is my 5 3/4 by 6 inch. So let me verify what I've got. That's my 5 3/4 inch up at the top. I'm going to flip it over, and you can see I'm lining that up with my 1 inch mark here on the side. We're going to give that a score. I'm going to rotate it all the way around, and we're going to do that again, scoring at 1 inch. Now let's put the 6 inch side up here at the top, and we are going to score at 2.5 inches and 3.5 inches. And with that, our prep work is done. How about that? Don't you love it? Now, I want you to notice there are 2 squares right here in the middle. And we're going to cut on that score line up 1 inch. Of course, just cutting up to that score line because we only scored here at 1 inch. So that you can see that. Let's repeat that here on the other side. There we go. So we have those cut. Now, I like to miter. I find that boxes go together better when I do. And what I want to do is I want to go from the inside of the square up to that outer corner. And it's just like cutting out a little piece of pizza or a little piece of pie. Whether you prefer pizza or pie, either way, it's going to cut the same. So we're just getting a little bit of that bulk out of there. That means it's not going to get caught when I go to put it together. So we'll do that here on the other side as well. Let's come along. And we're going to use our bone folder, and I want you to use it very gently. We do want to crease this down nicely with a bone folder, but we want to be careful. Designer series paper isn't cardstock, and it can be a little more delicate. So we want to just give it a nice crease with our bone folder. We're going to get all of those lines all folded down. I think you can see now how the box is going to go together. Now we're going to pull in some multi-purpose glue. We're going to bring in those 2 pieces of chipboard. Remember, these were the 2.5 by 3 3/4. Remember I said to cut it a hair less? Let me show you why. Because we need to make sure that when it goes inside, none of this is showing. And you know what? I'm kind of pushing it there. I may have to go back. Works fine here. I'm a little tall right there. And if you find you need to shave off a little bit more, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to show. But we don't want to cut off too much. Literally, just a hair. And yes, we just want to make sure it's going to fit both pieces. You want to check both pieces and make sure they are not going to show here, and then it's not going to buckle on the sides. I think that'll make sense really once you get to putting it together. Guys, we're going to take our multi-purpose glue and we're going to adhere these down on these 2 panels. Very simple to do. We're just going to get a little glue crazy. And you know, the glue's also going to stiffen up the designer series paper, but of course we're going to have this great cardboard in there as well. But if you were using cardstock, really, we're just adding some strength. And I could use snail, but you know what? I really like the ability I have with the multi-purpose glue to slide that cardboard around a little bit. Yeah, I just want to make sure as I'm gluing it down that I feel like everything is going to go together nicely. I will repeat that on the other one. I'm going to let this dry for just a minute, and I'm going to bring in that 6 1/4 by 3 inch piece. And then I'm going to bring in the chipboard. Remember that smaller piece of chipboard? And I actually want to use this side. I want this to show, let me show you what I'm talking about. I want the little base for my box to be in this other color because I think it's really pretty. So this is going to adhere right in the center, and we want to do our best to center it up. But I'm gonna be honest, if it doesn't get perfect, we don't need to pull in a ruler or anything here. We're going to add this right there. Okay, I'm gonna give that a little back rub. I like to go ahead and get this done because this way it can kind of dry and start to, you know, get ready to go for me. I'm going to set this off to the side. And I feel like my box is ready to go. I really, honestly, guys, just maybe 60 seconds at the most. I have got a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. Any circle punch will do, but I do prefer a little bit bigger one on this. And guys, this step is actually very important. Trust me when I say, if you don't cut out that notch, you can't grab the paper. It's very difficult to do. So we really want to make sure that we make this punch before we move on. I'm going to center it up from side to side, and I'm going to go halfway down. Now we can put this together. We're going to come back in with multi-purpose glue, and I want you to put that notch towards you. We're going to put multi-purpose glue here, just a little bit. This is actually going to get enclosed, but just a little bit on those little mitered flaps. And we're going to adhere it. We're adhering it to the side that is not notched out. And you notice, yes, it is going to the outside. Guys, that is actually kind of important that we're doing it on the outside. And let me tell you why. When we put our paper in here, we don't want it to catch on that little flap, right? We want to make sure it's going to go in nice. So let's make sure we put those on the outside. We're now going to put multi-purpose glue here, and we're going to adhere that together. You're going to line it up here at the top edge. Then I can give that a really nice press. Box done. All right, let's create the base. So I'm going to bring this piece back in. I'm going to use my bone folder, and I'm just basically making a little crease line right along that chipboard. Or again, if you used cardstock, that works too. And the reason that little score makes it so easy is it helps me to fold this perfectly. You know what? I did that when I was creating my sample. I didn't do that, and it kind of messed up. So yeah, just take the time to run your bone folder, or take your pick tool on the little ball end, and that will be very helpful. All right, we have those folded down. You know what? We'll go ahead and come in with our bone folder as well. We're going to come in with our paper snips, and I'm going to cut. I hope you can see, we're just cutting the corner off right by that point. Don't worry about it looking neat because we're going to be covering it, but you can see that's what we're going for. So let's do that here on the other side, just right by the point of the chipboard or cardstock. More multi-purpose glue because we've been using a ton of it, right? All right, we'll get some glue on here. And we can press these into place. Now this is the bottom of our box, but you know what? I don't want it to look like that. I want it to look nice. Remember that little piece of designer series paper that we cut? That was also the 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. So we can add adhesive or the glue right here. All right, there's where I adhered the designer paper down, and I want to put that down. I'm now going to take my box, and I'm going to put multi-purpose glue on the bottom of the box itself, center it up, press it into place. Now, you want to get down in there, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to do that. An ink pad fits nicely, so that's going to allow me to kind of get in there and press that box, press that glue into the little base. And if you haven't figured it out, the base is actually there to give stability to my box so that paper doesn't get heavy and cause it to fall over on your desk. It's looking great. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and come with my ribbon, And this is that 9 3/4 inch. And let me show you first before we do it. We're going to adhere this ribbon onto the box here at the base. Now, you can use your multi-purpose glue. You can also use tear and tape and just put tear and tape down your ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and use my multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to start with just the front. I'm going to put just a nice bead. I will tell you what's nice when I'm doing this. I'm also actually using the base. It kind of keeps my glue going on straight. So let's do that. I'm going to place my ribbon as close to the bottom of my box as I can. There we go. I'm going to give that a little press. I can get my fingers in here, press that down into place. We can now get the sides and wrap it around to the back. So we're just going to go all the way around the box. I'm going to be honest, I had to go rinse some of the glue off my fingers, so just be aware, could get a little gluey on you. Now let's work on decorating the front. We're going to bring in our 3 squares of color and then that last piece of chipboard. I'm going to take the petal pink, and I'll be using the Fresh Fig ink pad. And I'm going to bring in the stamp that says, "Here's to those who inspire us and don't even know it." I just thought that was a really nice one for something that sits on your desk, something that you're giving away as a gift would be really nice. We're going to stamp that right in the center. I just had to pop in here for just a second because I have to tell you about the sentiment stamp that I used. This is called Part of My Story, and it is available for free. Yes, free, if you place a $50 or more order at simplysimplestamping.com. You can choose the Part of My Story stamp set, and look at these great 8 stamps, or 8 sentiment stamps. It's a really fantastic one, but this is free if you order $50 or more, and guess what? That Floral Romance bundle with the framelits and the stamp sets, that one actually comes in just a hair over $50. So what a great way to get something free. So you're going to get this great sentiment stamp. Now remember, you do need to choose this as your celebration item. This is only available through March 31st. But listen, if you're not able to get this one, I know you have plenty of great sentiments in your collection, right? But I did want you to see it's a great way to get it for free. We love free, right? All right, back to the project. I'm going to come in with the Petal Pink ink pad, and then we have this really great leaf stamp. Let's ink that up in Petal Pink, and we're just going to stamp that right across the sentiment. We're going to take that stamp sentiment, and I am going to put my multi-purpose glue all over the back of that. Let's adhere it to that chipboard. And we'll give that a nice little press, and then we'll let that dry just like we have been. We want to kind of give that just a chance to set up. While we're waiting for that to dry, let's go ahead and work with our other 2 pieces. Since my Fresh Fig ink pad is still out, let's go ahead and use that one. I'm going to take this sweet little flower, and I need 6 of these. And I want to really spread them out so that I can get 4 of them in my Big Shot. Because remember, there are 4 framelits that come with that. I've got my Big Shot platform, my thin die adapter, a cutting plate, there's my cardstock, and our 4 little framelits. Guys, these line up really easily. As long as you get one of the flat edges of the flower, you're pretty much good to go. So you don't have to fussy with these too much. We like not having to fussy too much. All right, I'm going to put my top cutting plate on. We're going to run that through the Big Shot. We'll get our last 2 flowers. While our Big Shot is out, you notice there are 4 leaves. We're going to go extra large, large, and medium. So we need all 3 of those. That little guy will save for something else. This seemed to work. We're going to cut 2 of each size. And yeah, we should be able to get all of these on this little piece of cardstock, no problem. So we can lay those right there. Let's run that through the Big Shot. Let's get the last of those leaves right there, and we can run that through the Big Shot. And that's given that chipboard an opportunity to just get nice and dry because I don't want to get any glue in my framelit. So I'm now going to take the label. Let's line that up with our sentiment, and we can run that through. All right, I have everything die cut. I do want to mention, you're probably going to want to crank this through your Big Shot 3 or 4 times because we are going through something so thick. We want to make sure we get all those little pieces to cut through. So a few extra swipes, it's going to work just great. We're ready to put our focal image together. Now I've got my flowers. Let me just move those off to the side. We're going to work with our leaves first. Remember, we had 2 extra large, 2 large, and 2 medium. And I'm going to use my 2 large and a small and 2 medium and a small. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back in with the multi-purpose glue. I will put a dot here and adhere that together. I'm going to take the small and we're going to tuck it back here. So basically we'll just put a little dot right here. And you can see we'll just attach that leaf. Now we'll do that same thing here with the other one. So a dot of glue, and then we'll attach the other leaf. By the way, if you would rather use the rounded edge versus the little angled edge, you're welcome to do that. I'll add one more right back here. All right, let me set those aside to dry. Now I can bring my flowers in. We are going to place mini dimensionals on the back of each of these flowers. It's time to bring the box back in, and I'm going to take my leaves, which are now good and dry, so I'm good to work with them. And I'm going to glue them, just as I have been doing, right here on the side of the box. So again, multi-purpose glue. You guys have probably never seen me use so much glue, have you? All right, we'll do that here on this one. All right, our sentiment is going to go here, and we're going to attach that with dimensionals. But here's the thing, I can't hit this area at all, can't do it. And actually, we're going to be using these dimensionals to add our gold metallic thread. For this, I'm going to use the full-size dimensionals. And what I want to do is I'm going to put one right there, because where my sentiment's going to go, I can't run the risk of getting dimensional right here. It's going to stick to my paper. So I know up here at the top, don't put anything. Now let's add some dimensionals to the sides, and one down at the bottom and one in the middle. All right, so just a little T shape. We're going to leave that spot clear. I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backings, and then I'm going to prep my gold metallic thread. And because I needed that thread to go across all of that, I found an ink pad to be perfect. I'm going to go around this about 6 or 7 times with the gold thread, and then I can slide that off my case like so. There we go. Now let me bring this in so that you can see. We're going to take this metallic thread. You know what I love about working with this stuff? Messy is good. Hey, we like that. I take that thread, press it across those dimensionals. I got a big old tail here, so let's just stick that down right there. This is your opportunity to kind of make it look pretty messy. We're going for pretty messy, my friends. So if you have a piece that's just too long, like this tail is just not working, you can always trim it down. But there we go. And let me see. Yeah, I think I really like that. So we're ready to attach this. I've got plenty of dimensional. And remember, we took the backing off of that one as well. Center it up in our box. I gotta tell you, I really think that gold metallic thread just makes it pop. Now we're going to add these little flowers and the mini dimensionals. And we're just going to add 3 on the right and then 3 on the left. Boy, those mini dimensionals were a great invention, weren't they? All right, we'll just tuck that one right down there. One last thing, let's grab that bow. And as much as I hated having to bring in another product and not be able to use what I had, I just really find the mini glue dots to be one of the strongest adhesives for my ribbon. We can press that right there. There we go. Guys, what a great gift. Now, if you would like, you can also come in and you could stamp on the corner of all of these pieces of paper. I know it's a lot, but you've got that adorable little stamp. And you know what? It's a very relaxing thing to do, and it can actually go very quick. But I think it's just really nice if you want to take the time to stamp all the little pieces of paper, especially if you're giving it as a gift. Once you have them all stamped, back in the box they go. Well, there you go. Isn't it great? It is a fun little project. I really love this. And I think you're going to love creating it too. I promise they are a lot easier. It's a little gluey. I was a little sticky. But you know what? A little sticky never hurt anyone. A little water will take care of that. Fun, fun project. I hope you're going to give this one a try. Details, details, details. Now, if you want to see, maybe grab the measurements. If you want to see photos of that project, or you just want to see some more details, maybe the supplies that I used, here's what you can do. Head over to simplysimplestamping.com. This will be on Thursday, March 14th at 7 a.m. Central Time. That's when this post will go live, and you can see all the information about it. This video from my premiere will be there as well. Like I said, all the information that you need. If you're creating and you want to have those photos in front of you, you can do that. Also, if you'd like to order the tutorial, if you're ready to get that tutorial, you're right there at simplysimplestamping.com anyway. Just look in the blue menu bar for videos and tutorials, and you'll be able to click on that and see all the details you need to order that. Hey, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I had such a marvelous time chatting with you. Thank you for being a part. Super fun. Guys, I'm going to be back again March 27th with another premiere. It'll be again at that 5 p.m. time. Remember, that is Central Time, and that's just for a short time. I've been cast in a community theater production, A Noise Is Off, so I have rehearsal at 7 o'clock that I have to get to. So I did have to change the time just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to have a little wiggle room in that time. Thank you all so much. Be sure to click the red subscribe button if you didn't do it at the beginning, and ring the bell so you can remember when I'm going to be on again, March 27th, 5 p.m. Central Time. I will see you guys then. See you over at simplysimplestamping.com. Bye-bye.